Our mind controls our body. Our mind controls disease. Our mind controls health. Our mind also is the blueprint to our future, our success, our failure.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of Nationally Syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of Nationally Syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. We're super excited to have a brand new guest on. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Dr. Mike.
Thanks for having me, Drew.
Yes, it's our pleasure. Why don't we get started here? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Mike. Some of your listeners will pick up an accent. I'm originally from Belgium. That's where I grew up. But I came to the U.S. in 1997, saved $400, packed my backpack, put my jeans on, and came live the American dream. I came here as a physical therapist, but quickly got interested in other modalities. So I went back to school, got my license in acupuncture, doctor of oriental medicine, board certified in Chinese herbs, homeopathy, and the whole 9 yards. But I must say that after another 1,000 patients, I got frustrated because even though these modalities are less invasive than drugs and surgeries and injections, I really didn't get the long-lasting results I was looking for either. So I had to go back to basics. And that's when I decided to get my PhD in holistic nutrition. And I also started to look at Mother Nature because I figured Mother Nature has the truths about health. So I started to look at animals in the wild. And by just asking what animals in the wild do, often you get the truth about health. So by combining those two, I got very confident in helping anybody regain control of their health, optimize their health, or today what we call biohack is objectively reverse their biological age and become superhuman. I started to doing that, all of coaching, a lot of speaking, writing books, and today I coach and mentor people when it comes to their health or biohacking, and I help entrepreneurs and athletes alike to get to that next level by upgrading their body, their mind, and their life.
Okay, so this is interesting about animals. Give me a picture. So you're watching what type of animals?
No, watching, I'm just asking myself, what does an animal in the wild do, right? So for example, what do they drink? Well, they all drink water and nothing else after they wean off the mother's breast. So, that's an answer for many people on what we should be drinking. Certainly not milk of another species after we come off the breast. How many times a day do they eat? They only eat once a day because the digestive system and our digestive system is only designed to really digest one meal a day. And we think we should eat 3 times. Of people that go to the gym even say, we got to keep our metabolism at 5 times, etc. So sometimes if we want the truth, we just got to look at Mother Nature. What do mothers do after they deliver the baby? They eat the placenta. Why? Well, it's instinct, of course, which separates us human from animals in the wild. We have the freedom to choose our response. Animals have an instinct. But so why has Mother Nature them eating the placenta? Because it's rich in stem cells to repair the damage that was done to deliver the baby. Do they wear shoes? No, they're constantly grounding, being in a close loop with Mother Earth, so they discharge all the negative or excess energy. And so you can keep on asking these questions, and sometimes it helps you figuring out the truth, especially when you have opposing opinions from doctors, etc.
So okay, let's break this down. We got a lot to unpack here. Let's look at shoes. Are you talking, tell me about shoes in particular. Like, what about, I just ran into a guy, another trainer, and he was talking about like soleless shoes. It was like having bare feet. Would you recommend that or just no shoes at all?
Well, it's simple, right? Because we have to understand, if we can go no shoes, we obviously have to walk on Mother Earth, in the dirt, in the yard, on the beach, or swim in a river or an ocean. If we walk barefoot on your tiles or your wooden floors, it doesn't really matter because then you're still not in contact. And yes, I know there's many gadgets out there just as those shoes, Whether they work or not, I don't know. But I could measure it, because you can purchase an EMF meter, and basically, if you're in a closed loop with Mother Earth, there's no radiation on your body, so your voltage or millivoltage should be zero. So what you could do with gadgets or these shoes with your EMF meter, measure the radiation on your body, and that constantly varies because of the artificial light, the smart appliances, the Wi-Fi devices that we have. So it fluctuates, but there's a micro voltage or a millivoltage in this case that we can measure. And then as soon as we put our shoes on, it should go to zero. That means they work. And if it doesn't go to zero, you just wasted your money, or you prevent buying that gadget. So a lot of the gadgets do work and others don't work. The way I find out is not necessarily listen to them or look at their quote unquote research, which often today, as we know, is propaganda or just marketing. So, an EMF meter won't lie.
So tell us more about biohacking in particular. Give us a picture. Someone comes to see you. Give me a rough idea why someone would come and see you. I'm sure there's a dozen ways, but give us an example.
There's a few ways, but a lot of people come to me because of my medical background and the fact that right now I have a cancer patients, Parkinson patients, and I also work with top athletes. So we go from all the way cancer to top athletes, but the principles remain the same. So usually when people come to me for health, I categorize them in three categories. Number one, unfortunately, that's where most people fall, is we need to regain control of your health. In other words, you're in pain, you're overweight, or you're diagnosed with some type of a medical condition. So what we need to do is first is regain control and get you back to quote unquote normal. Once we do that, we end up in stage number two. Now that we're quote unquote normal, we want to achieve optimal health. So now we got to implement lifestyle modifications to be what? To be fit and vital and strong, and to be in control of our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And only then optimal health in stage 3 becomes the ideal foundation to maximize the benefits of biohacking. And biohacking is an amorphous term, has many definitions, but my definition is biohacking is upgrading the body, the mind, and life. And from a health point of view, it means objectively reversing your biological age. So at each stage, I will implement, different modalities or strategies or tips or even technologies to move to that next stage. But once we're in optimal health and want to biohack, that's where the fun starts, right? Because we really want to become at least 100 years old chronologically, but being able to do what a 40-year-old does, meaning traveling, hiking, whatever it is that you like to do. And I think today, 100% believe today that this is available to anybody, not just the elite, that if we implement these strategies, we can achieve that.
All right, so let's break this down a little bit. So someone comes to you and they're in chronic pain, declining health. How do we get their level raised? What do you do with them?
Well, I believe there's only, for that phase, I believe there's only one cause of all disease, and therefore there's only one solution. So it's a very holistic general approach where we put the body in the right conditions so that it can heal itself. I don't believe drugs cure or injections or surgeries cures, but I also don't believe that high-quality supplements or a diet or acupuncture or chiropractic don't cure either. I believe that only the body can heal itself, but it's up to us to give the body the tools or put it in the right environment or the right conditions so that it can do that. And so that's what I do. And if many times I revert back to Tesla, who basically said we need energy, vibration, and frequency. So we're going to utilize modalities and foundational biohacking strategies to get that person or get that body and mind in a position where it can start resolving whatever that's going on. And so I've been very successful doing that even with cancers.
Okay. Is there anything that you would suggest, one or two things that you would suggest that our audience could do to raise that level at home?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, in my latest book, The IZOT Method, I talk about the 7 foundations, and everybody can start and should start with there, because biohacking is this term. Biohack kind of means like shortcut, but in health there are no shortcuts. And even if you're a top athlete and when you want to go to that next level, or you're an executive and you're a millionaire but you want to become a billionaire, you got to get to that next level, and that's upgrading the body but also the mind, right? And so in order to do that, you always have to have the foundations or everything will crumble, right? Because when a lot of people think about biohacking, they think about spending money on these technologies like a hyperbaric chamber in your office or in your home. And yes, there's nothing wrong with that, but we don't have to have those technologies to lay that foundation. So there's 7 foundational things. Number 1, water. Very simple, right? Because we are a plumbing system, we are a circulatory system and a lymphatic system. Lymphatic system, as everybody knows, part of the immune system. So we're a plumbing system. Things need to move, and therefore we need to prevent stagnation. So drinking plenty of water is key, and also clean water. And especially in the United States, clean water is not easy to come by because of our government infuses it with fluoride and all kinds of other toxins. So we need to purify. We need to have a system in the house that we can get clean water, and we need to drink enough water. So that seems pretty easy to do. I'm looking at my system. It purifies the water, but I also infuse it with hydrogen water, which is another step because hydrogen helps us with many things when it comes to health. So that's step number 1, plenty of water and clean water. Number 2, air.
So, Mike, let me interrupt you for a second here. I'm interested in this because I'm considering personally some type of water filtration in our house. Do you have anything that you'd suggest for our listeners, or a couple recommendations that might be?
I'm sure you will ask my website later, but on my website is a shop here page. Now, I don't sell anything. I don't own any technologies or products, but on that page, I have everything listed that I use and that I recommend to my clients. So one of them is an Echo H2 hydrogen water system. So that links on my website and you get a discount from there. But that's a system that I use for my drinking water in the house. They also have cheaper carry-on bottles that will infuse your drinking water with hydrogen, which is convenient when you travel, and those types of things. Actually, this coming weekend, I'm going to do some training in Boca Raton in South Florida because there's a new molecular hydrogen technology that came to the U.S. from Korea. It's the only one here, and it's a hydrogen inhalation system, which is a much higher concentration than I get with drinking the water. So I'm going to learn more about that because I think that would be great for anybody with a condition that affects the brain, Parkinson's, MS, traumatic brain injury, Alzheimer's, dementia. Because if we can inhale a high concentration of hydrogen, it will obviously, pass that blood-brain barrier. So that's something I'm looking into because that technology just recently came to the United States. But hydrogen, yes, has many, many health benefits. So if we can get that into our body on a daily basis, that's a smart thing to do.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Let's go to number 2.
Number 2 is air. Again, we breathe in air. Step number 1 is easy. We need to spend more time outside, fresh air versus indoors recirculated air. But regardless, we only get 21% of air, right? So we need to really start to learn how to breathe properly because 99.9% of us don't know how to breathe. Even though we're born and the first thing we do is take a breath, and when we die, the last thing we do is take a breath. Most of us don't know how to breathe. It's not through the mouth. The mouth's to eat and to talk. The nose here, that's what's designed to breathe. So we should breathe in 5 counts through the nose, grab that nitric oxide that's sitting right there and get it deep into the lower lobes of the lung and into our cellular tissues. And then we need to exhale through the nose for 6 counts. But for your listeners, it's very simple. I mean, we got YouTube, we got our computers. We easily can Google and YouTube on breath work and learn how to breathe properly. I also can tell them that there's a free app you can download, which is the best in the world, in my opinion. It's called The Breath Source because it has all the top breath masters in the world on it. My favorite one is Travis Steffens. He's an American, but I follow him. But at no cost, you can start learning how to breathe properly because, Drew, if we breathe in and out through the nose for 5 counts in, 6 out, we only take 5.5 breaths per minute. Through the mouth, most people breathe 16 to 22 times. So we increase our efficiency by 300%. Now think about it. Yes, we need oxygen to breathe, but at the same time, what is aging? Aging means oxidizing. Oxidative stress, it makes us fail, makes us age. So yes, we need oxygen, but too much oxygen is detrimental to aging. So if we can increase the efficiency by 300% just by learning at no cost how to breathe properly, that's probably our biggest biohack right there.
Awesome. This is great information. I got a whole page of notes going here. Yeah. What's number 3? What's next?
Number 3 is rest. Let's start with rest, right? So during the night, we need to repair, regenerate, and renew. I always make the analogy with the supermarkets. If the people at night that restock the shelves go on strike for 1 or 2 nights, nobody can go to the supermarket and buy anything. It's the same with our body. During a deep delta sleep, we replenish, we restore, and we repair. And so if we don't sleep enough, and more important, deep enough, get into that deep delta sleep where we regenerate, it's a vicious cycle of less and less energy, more and more fatigue, more and more degeneration and aging, right? So sleep becomes very important. So we need to find a routine. I call it a power routine. And that's what I do with my clients, that will prepare us that when we go to sleep to get in that deep delta sleep so we can repair and we wake up refreshed versus I'm tired still, right? Most of us. So that's going to be, very, very important to find that. And a few tips for your listeners. Number one, we cannot eat late at night. Our digestive system, based on what we eat, takes anywhere from 20 minutes to 8 hours if it's shellfish. But if we eat our regular proteins or carbs, we need to at least 4 to 5 hours. So we need to eat early evening dinner and don't consume any food until we go to sleep, because otherwise our digestive system will still be working while we're trying to sleep. So we can't get into a deep sleep if our body is still working, right? Number one. Number two, and at least an hour before you go to bed, we need to wind down. Get rid of all the stimulation, the electronics, the light, the TV, noises. Don't pick up the phone for business. It's not a good habit to make business decisions when you're getting tired. You need a routine to calm down, repose the mind, maybe do some visualization like I do to prepare for the next day. And again, calm down. But with my clients, I find a routine that works for them, that they can count on to immediately fall asleep and get into that deep delta stage. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the opposite movement. We talked in number 1 about that we are a circulatory system and we need to hydrate, but we also need to move, otherwise things stagnate. And I do that with top athletes too, because I know a lot of triathletes, for example, they're working out 3 hours per day, but what if they sit still the rest of the day? That's still not healthy. We need to constantly move. Movement doesn't mean we have to go to the gym or we have to play organized sports, but we need to be active. We can't sit still, whether it's walking or dancing or playing with the dog or the grandkids, or if you're not able to do that because of where you live and you're a little bit older and you can't go out because there's snow, well, then there's technologies like vibration platforms, mini trampolines you can put in the house. But whatever it is that you need to do, your body constantly needs to move to prevent that stagnation. So that's number 4, movement.
Let's just take a step back here. For usual sleep, deep delta sleep, how many hours of sleep are you recommending?
Well, the quality is more important than the quantity, but as you know, they always recommend, 7-8 hours. Everybody's a little bit different there, but I think priority here is a deep quality sleep. As long as you feel rested in the morning and you're ready to go, that would be your sign that you got enough sleep and a deep enough sleep.
Okay, so movement in particular, you're not talking about like extreme workouts. You're just talking about moving your body, stretching, yoga.
When it comes to health, movement is important. When it comes to top athletes and sports like I was for a time, that's not healthy, because we are really breaking down this body when we exercise at high intensity, and then we got to do everything else exponentially to make it back up and give our body the nutrients to rebuild and get stronger and adapt. But ultimately, if you do that high intensity workout for many, many years, from a health point of view, that's not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, I gotcha. Lots of professional athletes deal with a lot of pain and injury later on in life.
Athletes, what they don't realize is because they are breaking down and asking a lot more of their body, they need to actually do a lot more to prevent free radical damage and prevent breaking down of the body. And a lot of them don't realize that and don't make those or take those extra measurements to do that. And that's part of biohacking too, is, you're putting your body in a stressful situation, because a lot of people think, exercise gives you energy. No. Exercise uses all your energy, and then it's up to you to recoup that energy and make sure that the body is able to make adaptations so you are improving and getting stronger or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. But there's a hazard to that high intensity training, and you need to make sure that you have enough protein, enough replenishment, enough repair of the cells and the body and those types of things. And when you go into that high intensity, you're really generating a lot more free radicals than your average person. And free radicals are very damaging for your health, as you know, even on a cellular and DNA level. So you need to compensate with that extra. Because we know for free radicals, we need antioxidants, right? And of course, they come from our fruits and our vegetables, but we also have supplements and infusions of vitamin C and D, selenium, zinc, and the list goes on. But when you're an athlete, we need to really exponentially focus on that because we're breaking a lot more down, and therefore we have a lot more free radicals in our body. And so when it comes to vitamin C and D and E, what most people don't understand about that story is that they are charged molecules. And so what that means is they cannot enter the cell. They cannot protect your RNA, DNA, proteins in the mitochondria. The other thing that people don't understand is this antioxidant that we just took, like vitamin C. If it donates an electron to this free radical, it does neutralize this free radical. But now this vitamin C becomes totally useless unless we have an electron reservoir. Just imagine we have a reservoir in our body of electrons, and once the vitamin C donates an electron to the free radical to neutralize it, great. But now we can feed that same vitamin C another electron and another one and another one. So it can continue to be effective in neutralizing free radicals. And that electron reservoir is basically the battery of our cells. And the battery of our cells is called NADPH. And so NADPH, we need to make sure we have plenty of stores of NADPH in our body to get an exponential effect of our antioxidants, as I just explained. So how do we do that? Well, there's precursors to NADPH. One of them, hydrogen. We just talked about hydrogen. Will keep your levels of NADPH high. There's also niacin, tryptophan, and other types of measurements that we can take to assure that we have an electron reservoir in our body. So that's just one of the example that will be important, especially for athletes, to make sure that they don't put themselves in a position where they, compromise their health by doing that high intensity training.
Okay, slightly off topic, but I want to ask you this. Do you have any insight on vitamin C from something more natural, that like camu, for example, compared to derived from like ascorbic acid? Any thoughts on that?
Of course, when we talk about the supplement industry, it's another whole thing that I write about a lot and make articles about, because there's, 8 out of 10 supplements won't work, right? Because nobody controls the industry. Most of those ingredients are cheap synthetic ingredients. In other words, they're not absorbed. The average supplement is only absorbed up to 10%. So when I recommend supplements, or the supplements I take, obviously are professional grade supplements, but I also want all the research. So the supplements I take, they have epigenetic studies. They have studies about bioavailability. So a lot of the supplements I take are 87% absorbed or higher. And I need to know that it's not the ingredients that the company is, pulling up research on, but it's actually their product. The thing that I'm consuming, I want to know is absorbed and works, right? So there's many criteria. Again, on my website, when people get there later, there's a page called About Supplements, and I explain, some general principles, but also have a PDF that people can read or download with all the criteria. And then it also shows the supplements, or some of the supplements that I take that have the research, so you're not wasting your money. There is a reason why nurses call supplements bedpan bullets.
All right. So we got 3 more tips and not a ton of time. I don't want to rush you, but I want to hear the rest of your 7.
So the next one is light. And I mean sunlight if possible. So spending more time outdoors, like during your lunch or in the evening, or taking your family outside when it's not raining to have dinner, or doing a lot of outdoor activities during your weekend is very important, not just for the fresh oxygen, but for that sunlight. Think about the Amazon and think about all the animals that live around the equator. They're large, they're huge, they have colors, they're just vibrant and vital, versus those that live in the dark like a mole. They're even blind because they're not vital, right? So light stimulates all biological and physiological and nutritional processes in our body. So we need a lot of light, not heat. Don't go lay down and boil at 85 degrees on the beach. Heat exhausts us, but light, stimulates all processes in our body. So get more sunlight. And then there's 2 left. The next one is upgrade your diet, right? I mentioned briefly in the beginning, there's only one cause of all disease. It's toxemia. Toxemia are the toxins in our blood, or our body. But in a normal, healthy organism, they're all eliminated by the kidneys, the skin, the bowels, etc. However, most of us today are in an ill health state or a disease state because we take in or are exposed to far more toxins than the body possibly can eliminate. So now those toxins accumulate in our body, and that causes a state of emergency, which is called systemic inflammation, even according to conventional medicine, the cause of over 90% of all disease. So what we need to do here is we need to keep toxemia in check. How do we do that? We need to reduce the exposure and intake of toxins from what? Man-made foods, man-made drinks, prescription and over-the-counter medications, toxic household products, beauty products, especially women right there, and electromagnetic frequencies from our smart devices, Wi-Fi's, and all those types of things. We need to do whatever we can to reduce it while simultaneously increasing the intake of nutrients that fight free radical damage, systemic inflammation, and repair our DNA. And if we do that, we keep toxemia in check, we are bulletproof against any disease. So that's where your diet and your upgrades come in when it comes to nutrition. And then last but not least, probably the most important, number 7, the mindset. Our mind controls our body. Our mind controls disease. Our mind controls health. Our mind also is the blueprint to our future, our success, our failure. So with any client, no matter what they come in for, I immediately start to work on the mindset, eliminating false core beliefs, being able to tap into the different brain waves, and really work on that belief system. If you believe you're going to, run a world record, and there's no doubt, and that's exactly what's going to happen. If you believe you can overcome cancer without any doubt, and that's what's going to happen. If you believe you're going to die from cancer, guess what? You're going to, agree with the doctor, and the doctor's going to be right. So the mind is very powerful. And so it's very important that with anybody, we start working on that. And today it's very easy to get quick results with that because we have so many strategies and tools. We have visualization, manifestation, gratitude. We have breath work, which works for me very well because if I am focused on my breath, suddenly my mind clears off everything else and I can tap into that meditative state. And there's even technologies such as BrainTap and others which facilitate anybody getting into a meditative state and also working on their belief system. So that's number 7, upgrading that mind. Very important.
Whoa. That was a whole lot of information in a short amount of time. You did fantastic. Thank you so much. That was, I got a whole page here.
It doesn't have to cost money, but you got to lay those foundations and make those new things a habit and create power routines, something you do in the morning, in the evening, during the day, and do it every day. So these become healthy habits, and those will eventually make huge differences.
Yeah, I love that. What'd you call it? Power routines?
Power routines.
Power routines. Love it. So maybe that was your last message, but I do want to give you an opportunity. Is there anything that you wanted to mention before we wrap things up here?
No, I just, we're in these times where everybody, a lot of us are blaming others. We're blaming our genes, our genetic makeup, and our parents. Are we blaming healthcare professionals or doctors or the FDA or the big pharmaceutical companies or the fake news? And I agree with you guys, but you know what? Instead of pointing fingers, start taking responsibility for your own health, for your own successes in life, and start taking responsibility for yourself and your loved ones. And if you don't know much about health or biohacking or those types of things, man, there's functional medicine doctors everywhere. There's coaches and mentors like myself everywhere. So get some help. Find, look for somebody that can give you guidance and take responsibility.
Awesome. Okay. Website. What do you got? What do you got? You got your book there?
The best place to find me is the website, biohackingunlimited.com. At that website, all my books are there. I got mentorship programs, different levels of mentorship programs. You can get sign up for the free newsletter. We do VIP retreats. Costa Rica's coming up next year again. So lots of stuff on the website, biohackingunlimited.com. Also a free 20-minute call if you want it, just to talk to me, see how I can help you out. It's all there.
Awesome. Wow. That was fantastic. I don't know. It's been a while since we had that much fantastic information crammed into this 30 minutes. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Drew.
All right. We're going to wrap things up. So we're going to head over to your website. If anyone's interested, you got some books. You got a number of books up there?
I got 8 books. The latest one is The IZOT Method, Getting in the Zone on Demand, Unleashing Your Superpower. We need your superpowers.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Dr. Mike, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is trueformlife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at trueformlife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with True Form Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.